Good afternoon, and this is your update on tropical storm Laura. As of 5 p.m., Laura was located near latitude 19.5 north and 75.2 degrees west, which takes it just between the three islands of the Antilles, Cuba, Jamaica, and Hispaniola, being just south of the eastern sections of Cuba. Expecting Laura to move generally west northwestwards over the southernmost tip of Cuba and then be back over open waters north of the island of Jamaica, south of Cuba, passing just between the Cayman Islands and Cuba come tomorrow morning, late tonight into tomorrow morning. Uh, right, so we have the tropical system here. Let me just right, and expecting it to move just due south of Cuba and then into the Gulf of Mexico early next weekend or early this week, come Tuesday morning. Taking a closer look at the system itself, a fairly healthy looking tropical storm, though interaction with the landmasses of Hispaniola have uh, interfered somewhat with circulation. However, it's still held up as a tropical storm. Maximum winds now at 50 miles per hour, just south or just north of the eastern tip of Cuba. That's where the strongest winds are. And strongest winds are somewhere in here, 50 miles per hour, just north of Cuba. The center being somewhere in here. Now, models previously had the system tracking across the entire landmass of Cuba. However, since its interaction with Hispaniola, it has shifted somewhat south, expecting it to just skirt the southern tip of Cuba and then be over the Caribbean Sea between Cuba and Cayman Islands come tomorrow. This means, however, that impacts to Jamaica are not out of the question, though the wind field itself remains north of the island. So the tropical storm force winds extend somewhere in this region, expecting this swath to remain north of the island and be over Cuba. However, we will be seeing some effects from Laura in the shape of rainfall, which we are having now, as this area south of the eye has been persistent throughout its trek from um, Puerto Rico across Hispaniola and now is just east of the island of Jamaica. Expecting showers and thunderstorms to continue, sporadic outbreaks of thunderstorms and showers to continue throughout the night across Jamaica as this area of moisture and thunderstorms begin to pulse as the system tracks, as the center of the system tracks more west northwest across southern Cuba. Taking a closer look of the wind field, as I mentioned earlier, we see that this area of tropical storm force winds only extend uh, it's about 20 miles, 30 miles from the center toward the south, and this is expected to remain north of Jamaica and not impact Jamaica uh, with regards to wind. However, as I said before, rainfall is a factor and will play a factor, and therefore flash flooding is likely and possible in areas prone to flooding, low-lying areas. So we should be on the lookout for that. Closer look at the infrared imagery of the system. As I mentioned earlier, this area of thunderstorms continue to pulse. So these are a different color. This area that you're seeing here, highlighted in the yellow circle, continue to pulse throughout Laura's trek across the Great Antilles, and expecting that this area to be across the island or affect the island, continue to affect the island tonight into tomorrow morning. So heavy rainfall, lightning, thunder expected tonight into tomorrow. Though this, I was hesitant in using this model to illustrate the rainfall probabilities, simply because this model was initialized at 7 a.m. this morning, and a lot has changed since that interaction with the landmass, and the fact that Laura is further south than this model would illustrate. So let's just extrapolate the model and use it to guide our rainfall analysis, right? Now, looking at the model, um, the rainfall millimeters per hour, expecting it to move across Jamaica and tonight into tomorrow. Quite a bit of rainfall expected. However, being that the system in this model is further north than it actually is, I would expect more rainfall than this model depicts. However, I'm just using it to illustrate the probabilities of rainfall tonight. All right, so that's it for your update. Tropical storm Laura expected to remain north of the island and just clip the southern tip of Cuba. However, expecting impacts in rainfall throughout the night, Sunday night into tomorrow morning.